with Dan the Boy Steiker and Billy Doc Niles, brought to you by Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores in Baraboo, Black River Falls, and Toma. By Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem, and 3rd Street, downtown La Crosse. By Dean Satellite and Security, your local DirecTV retailer. By the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. By Dell's Raceway Park in Wisconsin Dells. By Weir's Machine and Racing Products in Bangor, Wisconsin. And by JT Longshots Grill and Saloon in historic downtown West Salem. Now here's Doc and Dan with today's report.
Welcome in, race fans. It is Saturday. That means it's time for the most explosive hour of racing radio you're going to hear in about a 4-state radius here on 1460 WPOG. It's the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report right here at 1460 WPOG. CoolGold1460.com, the TuneIn app.
Love that TuneIn app.
That is Billy Doc Niles touting WPOG, the TuneIn app. I am the voice, radio man, Dan Dyker. Thanks for joining us on the program. What a show we have today. This one is going to be one for the record books of the talent and the substance we have.
We are on both ends of the age curve here. We got the
That's true. That's a good way to set that up.
Yeah, we got one of the youngest, hottest drivers in the country joining us, and we got one of the sagest, wisest, and oldest owners in the country joining us.
How about it? He stopped. He qualified today for the NASCAR Xfinity Series Coors Pole qualifying. And as soon as he was done, he's going to be joining us on the program here in a couple of minutes because he races in Iowa for the 250-lap American Ethanol NASCAR Xfinity race. Ty Majeski is going to join us here this afternoon on the program. Matter of fact, he's also going to talk to us about Tuesday night's Dixieland, Wisconsin International Raceway 250, which I'll be at.
You think we can get 2 segments out of him today?
Okay, we're going to try to get 2. Kind of a neat thing, too. Bit of honeys, man. I've been craving bit of honeys since it was announced Tuesday that's on his car for this afternoon.
Well, we're going to have to ask him. I don't know if we can get it on air or off air because we got a lot of questions to ask him. I want to know if he's been piling on the bit of honey since he got that sponsor. Also
joining us on the race trail, I'm one of the most positive guys when it comes to promoting racing. You know that. I mean, I do it on the radio show. I do it on Facebook. I do it at the Speedway. I love short track racing. I love it. It's a huge part of my life, and I love it. When you celebrate 70 years of ownership, 51 years of owning a racetrack, being involved almost all 70 years, that says something. Jody Deary, the owner of the Rockford Speedway, is going to join us as well on the program.
It's going to be cool to talk to her. I'm sure she's got plenty of stories, but she's been there for that long that she's grown up with that Speedway. And she's seen almost everything. I want to talk to her about some of the drivers that have come through there, and I want to see some of the stuff she has to say. That's pretty cool. She's been creative too, and we'll talk more about that.
Paul Riker will join us for the Burning Rubber Race Report of the program as well. First off, let's talk about the La Crosse Speedway as we get you ready for more racing tonight. 2 20-lap features last weekend, Billy Doc Niles. The first one was, somewhat interesting when you talk results.
Well, definitely. First of all, you got to go back to qualifying. Nick Paninsky, not only the only one to go underneath the 22nd market, but he shot a 19.8, and we were just amazed at that. Come to find out, he wasn't quite sure on what to do with the 2 new tires. You were only supposed to use 1 new tire in qualifying. That bit him right there, so he had to start shotgun on the back of the field. Steve Carlson just, methodically picked his way through the pack, took the lead with 13 to go. Then you watch Paninsky just slice through that entire field. Ends up in 3rd. Could have got 2nd if it was 5 more laps. Who knows? He might have been on Carlson's tail, but it was just fun to watch him slice through that field.
For the second Leibalo feature, we had to wait out quite the rainstorm. It came down hard. It took us about an hour to dry the track, but Nick Paninsky, with a podium finish in segment 1. How about winning the second one? Gets the lead on lap number 4, and it was pretty much over with from there. Held off Steve Carlson, held off Mike Carlson. We were on the track, and this is what they told you, Billy Doc, when it was over with.
Looked like you had it for a while, but then these 2 cars came along.
Yeah, I kind of figured they were coming. They looked fast earlier in the first race. I don't know, the track kind of changed a little bit. Still a little bit of water out there, but I don't know, all in all, we're dry, I guess, for a little bit.
Well, after the beginning of the season, it wasn't that great for you in features, but after these last couple of weeks, you got to feel good about the end of the season coming up.
As much as I've changed, I probably could have just built a new car, but yeah, I mean, it's come a long way from last year, beginning of the year. Hopefully it keeps going. I mean, I got to catch up to Nick and Dad again, so I got to change something.
Third place tonight, Mike Carlson. Second place, he's your points leader right now, the king of the short track, Steve Carlson. Good night tonight. Second race here, chasing that black card. Not much you could do with him.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I caught him there a couple times. I just couldn't do anything with him.
Well, it looks like he's back on his game, and we got a heck of a points race. I know it's too early to think about points, but this could be a fun end of the season here for you.
Yeah, the next 5 nights should be pretty good.
I know you talked at the beginning of the year about you welcome the competition. Is this everything you expected?
Oh, absolutely. It's a lot of fun.
He's the king of the short track, Steve Carlson. And for the 4th time this year, the 22 car is your winner, Nick Panitsky. Obviously, you've passed the most cars tonight. First of all, how much fun was it just kind of driving through all that traffic in that first one?
Yeah, the first one was fun. I couldn't catch a break, get a caution there. It was pretty clean racing all night. I got to thank the competitors for that. So, yeah, no cautions. Just could get up to third, and that was about it. That was all she had.
That's quite the nice break you got at the beginning of the feature there. That outside line seemed to take off right away. It worked to your advantage.
Yeah, it didn't seem like the 18 fired off there. I don't know if he had a motor problem or what, but yeah, outside went. Steve followed, and it was kind of a race to the end.
All right, you've got the car back where it belongs. You ready for a title run now?
I'm not sure about that. I mean, I think we lost a little points tonight to Steve there. He just doesn't seem to take his foot off the Tiger's neck. He just doesn't give us a break there. So it was fun running away from him tonight. He was right there. That was all she had. So. Like I said, he was right there, and I didn't know if I could hold him off.
For the 4th time this year, your feature winner, Nick Panitsky.
So Panitsky third in the first feature and wins the second. Let's go to the sportsman's feature. Wow, I tell you what, Billy Doc Niles, we could have seen almost half the field gone out of this one.
You know, and if you were there Saturday night, you saw where I was. I had a great view for this one coming off of turn 4. Lockington loses it coming off of 4. Clips Lethe, who clips Hesselberg, who sends him slamming into the inside wall, loses his brakes, loses his steering, has nowhere to go, and clips the point leader, Randy Humfeld, hard into the wall. Amazing, amazing accident. Luckily, they both walk away, but a lot of damage to both cars.
The eventual winner was Bad Brad Worth, and that is number 4 in the year. He now has the most wins in the sportsman's class, and more importantly, between Bad Brad Worth and we're going to talk about the points here later in the program because he's only 7 behind Humfeld. Adam Oxborough, again, this guy's in the top 3 in points, coming out of nowhere. Well, actually, top 5.
Actually, this should have been his first feature win. He had the nice lead. Then that yellow flag comes with 4 or 5 laps to go. Warthen starts side by side with him and just gets some really good bite through the corner. It's all over. Oxborough watches him drive away. Oxborough settles for second.
Steve Bachman rounding out the top 3. The Lacrosse Thunderstocks, this was Jason Bolster stealing the lead from Kyle Lockington on lap 5. He does get the win, and that was his first one of the year. The Hornets, of course, Ben Thurk took the race lead in lap 4.
First career feature win.
And that puddle was huge. Those guys were having to fight through a big puddle in turn 1 and 2. Mark Bornett stalled his car in turns 1 and 2. He was unable to finish the race. He'd have had second place.
He's running a solid second, and he was running Thurk down. He might have got close on that last lap, but all of a sudden he was gone.
Pat Tickey took second. Kayla Vian took third. When we come back on the program, well, you're just going to have to keep it right here. This program is action-packed, jam-packed throughout the day. We're going to go eat some Bit of Honeys. We'll be right back on 1460 WBOG.
Are you looking for comfort under the sun? You can find that and a whole lot more with your stay at the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. The Days Inn has 148 spacious rooms, an indoor pool, hot tub, fitness room, and plenty of banquet space to host that big meeting or wedding reception. If you're hungry, food and drink are just steps away at the Heroes Bar and Grill inside the hotel. So if you're planning a pool party, wedding reception, or just want a night away in a jacuzzi suite, Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island is your stop under the sun.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue.
Jerry Beyer here, and I'm pleased to announce that we have opened a new location. Now you'll find our Big Boar Cook Shack parked on the corner of George and July Street every Wednesday through Sunday. So come on over and sink your teeth into the barbecue voted best in La Crosse County. Don't forget takeout.
And just come on down for the best food in town at Big Boar Barbecue.
Big Boar Barbecue. That's a mouthful.
In a hurry, it's easy to stop. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. You're gonna like the things we've got. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. It's easy to see when you're on the go. There's only one name you need to know.
Baraboo, Black River Falls, Nakusa, Toma, Wittenberg.
Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop.
Here we go, back to the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report with Doc and Dan.
Welcome back to Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report here at 1460 WBOG. Google 1460.com and on the TuneIn app.
Love that TuneIn app.
WBOG. Great guy. He's going to be coming up on the program right now. Met him probably 3-4 years ago when he first ran the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway, and have been one of his biggest radio silent fans, I guess you can say. Watching his progressions through La Crosse, through the state of Wisconsin, through the Midwest, and this guy has just been doing it all. Matter of fact, I keep watching my mailbox because I have something coming in the mail. He's got a big weekend coming up, starting off with today. He's going to be running some Xfinity at Iowa, then Tuesday in Kaukauna. Let's welcome Ty Majeski. How are you, sir?
How's it going? I'm good. How are you guys?
Good, man. Always great to have you back on the program.
Yeah, always good to appreciate you guys having me. Always good to be on.
He's never denied me. I can text him. I've given him calls, talked to him at tracks. This guy has never denied me an interview.
He ran from us at the icebreaker. I seen it.
Well, they were splitting that afternoon. I think everybody was trying to get out of there. Ty Majeski, hey, man, I'm still waiting for my Lionel.com 1/64th scale 2017 Xfinity Mustang to come in the mail.
Yeah, that's, I'll tell you what, I never thought, every kid dreams of having their car as a diecast, and for that to come true for me is pretty surreal. I never thought it would get to that point. I definitely didn't think that that they would make one just for my, one race, iRacing.com car. But man, I think it's gotten a lot of attention. I think they got a lot of orders for it, and hopefully they'll make more of my cars moving forward.
Matter of fact, Ty's car is the #1 selling diecast at Lionel.com, and that's the 1/64th scale. And then they have a larger scale car that you can get as well. Ty, this thing, look how fast this thing has started with Xfinity. You got Xfinity, then you got Xfinity T-shirts. Now you've got diecast cars. Have you caught up with yourself yet?
Not at all. But I'll tell you what, I got great people that handle all that kind of stuff for me at Roush Fenway. They handle all that kind of merchandising stuff. So it's pretty cool to almost sit back and watch it all happen. I mean, it was an awesome feeling seeing all those Ty Majeski shirts. I don't know how many people came up to me at Iowa for my debut and said, man, you got a lot of T-shirts in the stands. It's awesome to see. I mean, these guys are other drivers that notice that. So it's pretty substantial to be recognized like that and have that kind of following from the Midwest. It says a lot about our fan base up here and what racing is all about up in the Midwest.
Well, let's talk a little bit about today. You got your first shot at Xfinity right here at Iowa about a little more than a month ago. What did you learn from the first race that you could carry over to today?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I learned a lot. Just getting my feet wet, A, out at the racetrack, B, in those types of cars, in a racing situation. I got good seat time at the tests and stuff, but driving around by yourself is one thing. When you get around cars, is a whole different ball game, especially the way these cars act aerodynamically in traffic. It's a whole different ball game. I have to basically break my whole set of instincts that I have to pass a car on a short track and change them and flip around backwards to try and keep air on the nose and keep the thing turning in traffic in an Xfinity car. So it's definitely a learning experience for me. I brought a lot of positives back from the first race, even though we didn't have the results that we wanted. We showed good speed all weekend. Qualified in the top 10, ran the top 5 there in the first segment, and we think we were slightly over cambered, and it caused that inside of the right front tire to shred, and we lost a bunch of track position, and then eventually got caught up in an incident when we were very deep in the field after that. So, like I said, not the results we wanted, but all in all, my team and I took a lot of positives away, and that'll make us better here this weekend.
Now, when you look at the notes from your first time there at Iowa with Xfinity just not too long ago, of course, the race is this afternoon, 2:30, the U.S. Sailor 250 presented by American Ethanol, 250 laps. It'll be on NBC as well. When you look at the notes on the different sections of time, maybe the way that you got up that morning, what you did for qualifying, what you did afterwards, what you did for pre-race, does any of that change?
I just take it as another race. I'm not too superstitious. I don't have like a set, routine that I do before every race. It's just take the circumstances as they come. Like I said, I'm not too superstitious. Gonna just go in there like it's a late model race. That's what we did the first time. And like I said, we had really good speed and it was all going to turn out okay. And judging on how the race turned out, I mean, there were some cars that were running 25th that finished in the top 5. So I really think we could have had a good chance at a good finish if we would have just been able to stay there at the end. But fortunately, that didn't happen, but we'll try and make it happen here this weekend.
All right, the burning question for local race fans, and it seems to be your good luck charm wherever you've been. Is Pudge in the pits with you today?
I'll tell you what, I wish Pudge could come down to Iowa, but I'm pretty sure NASCAR won't let any pets in the pits. But no, it's been a fun game with him. Obviously, he's a great dog. Seems to be bringing us a lot of luck, but lately he's 0 for 2 the last 2, so I don't know what's going on. Maybe we'll have to give him a haircut or something.
Not many dogs have their own Twitter account.
Yeah, that's right.
Ty Majeski joining us on the program today, ready for his NASCAR Xfinity U.S. Sailor 250 coming up this afternoon, 250 laps at the Iowa Speedway. Ty, I have watched the group work at the La Crosse Speedway with you. I've watched the group work at some other different tracks, and I'm talking Toby and the entire crew you have. What's different beyond the communication and the bond you've built with the group here in Wisconsin compared to the group you have to work with at Iowa?
Obviously, it's a challenge to try and match the relationship I have with Toby and all the guys in La Crosse. I mean, I've been working with them now 4 or 5 years, and I just met these guys 3 or 4 months ago, and the team that I went with the first race at Iowa won't be with us here this weekend. So I had the same crew chief, but a lot of the personnel has changed. So some of these guys I just met earlier this week. So it's hard to match that kind of chemistry. But Seth is a great crew chief, and obviously we have Toby in the pits to help distinguish some of my lingo and to the crew chief, and I think that'll help a lot. Toby's obviously been so willing to help out as my career moves forward, and it's really a special moment that we get to share together just because of everything that my team and Toby has accomplished the last 4 years, and to be able to bring those guys down into the pits, give them pit passes, is really special for me, and it's kind of my way of saying thanks, and it's special for us for sure.
You're talking about the new crew you're going to have, basically most of the new crew you got this weekend at Iowa. How much practice did you get this week to, like pit stops and stuff like that to bond with them guys?
Yeah, I actually did some pit stop practice on Wednesday, so Roush Fenway obviously does a great job of giving me opportunities to help better myself off the racetrack, to help on the racetrack, of course. So did some pit stop practice this week. Like I said, some of my pit crew will be the same, but as far as the personnel working on the cars, mechanics, underneath mechanics, stuff like that are a little bit different. So as far as the guys going over the wall, that'll all be the same. I have a good relationship with those guys just because I do pit stop practice quite a bit. So it should be a fun time. And at the end of the day, we're all trying to have fun doing it. So as long as we can go there, have a good time, and hopefully come out of there with a good finish, I think that'd be pretty cool.
On Tuesday, it was released out of the blue that bit of honey has been wrapped on your car. You're going to be running with the Xfinity Series at Iowa today. That is so cool. That was one of my favorite candies growing up. I used to steal that out of people's Halloween baskets as we would get done trick-or-treating. And it was neat because, there are certain things as a part of a team and certain things you don't know that go on behind the scenes. You didn't even know Bit of Honey was coming on board right off the bat.
No, I didn't know. Bruce Mosley and Mike Mooney do a great job at Roush Fenway on the marketing side. Getting funding for all these races. They're two really smart guys, and they do a great job finding funding for all of us drivers at Roush Fenway. And I guess sometimes it's a good thing when the driver just stays out of it and let the professionals go out there and find the partners that they do Just really thankful for the opportunity I have here and surround myself with good people that are able to do that kind of stuff. So unfortunately, I just don't have the ties with large companies. Obviously, I have iRacing.com. They're obviously a big company, but not big enough to, say, sponsor me a full Xfinity season. They can do maybe 1 or 2 races, but I don't have that big corporate sponsor with me pushing me up here through the ranks. So obviously, it's critical to try and surround myself with good people who can try and push that forward for me.
NASCAR Xfinity Series U.S. Cellular 250, presented by American Ethanol, is on NBC this afternoon. 2:30 is race time, and hopefully everyone's going to be tuning in before they head out to the La Crosse Speedway to watch what Ty does in his second start with the Xfinity. Ty, got some time to stick around and talk Dixieland?
Absolutely. I got all day.
Alrighty, Ty Majeski, our guest this afternoon on the Whitetail Crossing Community Stores Race Report. We'll be right back with more from the man from Seymour next on 1460 WBOG.
Come on in. Welcome to JT's Long Shots in West Salem. We're Trisha and Jim.
It's your new sports bar for watching all your favorite sports. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 3 to 7, with $1.75 domestics and rails. For lunch or dinner, the kitchen is open. Half-price burgers on Mondays. Tuesday, it's bone or boneless wings. Fish tacos on Friday. Stop after the races tonight to hear live music. It's Joe Cody from 8 to midnight.
Jim and I'd love to see you at JT's Long Shots Sports Bar, downtown West Salem.
For the best family entertainment value in the Dells area, look no further than Dells Raceway Park. Kids 9 and under are always free. Exciting stock car racing every Saturday night, where the stars of tomorrow are racing today in late models, modified, sportsman, bandits, and more. Check the schedule online at DellsRacewayPark.com. Take a free tour of the pits and a lap around the track on race night in DRP's trolley car. Gates open at 4, qualifying at 5:30, green flag racing at 7. Don't miss the excitement every Saturday night at Dells Raceway Park, where the best in the Midwest race.
Spring, spring, spring. Now that it's spring, no one wants to sit inside and watch TV with it so beautiful outside. And when you get DirecTV through Dean Satellite and Security, you don't have to. You can now take your TV with you into the great outdoors with the free mobile app from DirecTV. Going on a picnic? Take your TV with you. Sitting by the lake? Don't miss your favorite show. It's really that simple. Call your local friends at Dean Satellite and Security today at 608-269-2897 or visit them online at deanstv.com. Now get outside and watch your TV. Content, channels, and functionality varies by TV package, viewing location, and device. Data charges may apply. Conditions apply. Call for details.
Weir's Machine and Racing Products, Bangor, Wisconsin, a proud supporter of the local racing, celebrating 20 years in the racing industry. From dirt tracks to asphalt, Weir's Machine manufactures over 400 quality parts that racers rely on to win races, producing some of the finest parts in the industry. From engine parts, tools, suspension parts, to race accessories. Head to Weir'sMachine.com to browse their entire line or call them direct. Weir's Machine and Racing Products, Bangor, Wisconsin.
It's Team Dean time as the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report continues on Cool Gold 1460.
Welcome back to Whitetail Crossing Community Stores Race Report at 1460 WBOG, averaging almost 3,000 listeners from 17 states every Saturday.
I think we're going to have more today.
I would think so. I'm going to really promo this one this week. Belly Doc Niles, Dan Dyker joining you on the program, getting ready for La Crosse Speedway tonight. A man that's getting ready for the Xfinity race this afternoon. Ty Majeski continues his conversations with us here this afternoon. Ty, again, thanks for joining us on the program. So after tonight's festivities there with the NASCAR Xfinity Series, a big race is coming up here for you on Tuesday night, which I will be at as well. Talk to us about one that you want, the Dixieland 250.
Obviously, that's one of the premier super late model races, not only in the Midwest, but in the country as well. We're fortunate enough to have at least 3 of those races with Slinger Nationals, the Dixieland, and Oktoberfest. 3 pretty big races up here, and it's cool to it's kind of my local short track. I grew up, obviously, in Seymour, about 15 miles down the road from Kaukauna, so always have a big fan following there. Have a lot of fans in the stands, so it's really cool to go up there and race. Especially in a premier event like that. It's one that we've definitely had fast cars in, just haven't gotten the results to show for it. We were pretty dominant there in 2015. Unfortunately, a rock got in the water pump belt, snapped the belt, and obviously didn't have any water flow through the radiator and obviously overheated. So that ended our night. And last year, we had a second place car and ended up second. Dennis was really good last year, so I think we learned a few things from that we can apply to this year, and hopefully we'll be just a little bit better.
Now, back in Golden Sands, after the race, you and I had talked that Slinger was one track you had not won at in the past, and you were going to use the Nationals as a test and tune to the Dixieland 250. Well, you wiped that one out by winning the race.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool to say that you've won and at almost every short track in Wisconsin that runs weekly late models. To be able to even have that goal feasible is pretty special and a testament to what our team has been able to accomplish the last few years. It's pretty remarkable and really proud of that. And unfortunately, wish we could have went out there and won Slinger Nationals, but we ended up winning that test and tune a few Sundays prior. Obviously would have rather taken fourth in that race and won the Nationals, but that's the way it goes. But we'll definitely be back next year and try and grab that one.
Talk about a stellar field this Tuesday night. Not only you got yourself, you're going to have all the top super late model guns coming in, Prunty, Fredrickson, Sauter, just to name a few. But you also got Kyle Busch coming in this Tuesday night. Talk about the stellar field, the tough competition you got to face this Tuesday night.
Yeah, we've had great competition in the past, but I don't think it's been anything like what this year's going to be. Obviously, you got Bubba Pollard coming up. You got Kyle Busch coming up, as you mentioned before. Those guys are two of the best in the business in super late model racing, and Kyle's obviously one of the best in the Monster Energy Cup Series. So to be able to compete with him, I look at it as an opportunity. It's really cool that he comes up here, comes back to his roots, and races up here with us. It gives us young drivers an opportunity to prove ourselves against him and kind of see where we stack up. So I'm really excited for it. I think we'll have a really good race car. We just have to play the strategy right. I mean, it's 250 laps, only a 6-tire race. So you got to run on those left sides for all 250 laps. So it's definitely a fine balance of getting track position, putting yourselves in good position for the end, but also not wearing the tires off the thing. So that's what we did last year. We definitely learned from it. We know we have to have a little bit more rear grip in the car. I need to do a better job at managing that. So I think taking those things all into account, I think we'll be able to put ourselves together a pretty good race.
You mentioned there, explain a little bit deeper on how hard is it to manage your tires for 250 laps when you know you can only change 2 of them? I mean, how hard is it to lay off the gas and manage the race like that?
Yeah, it's challenging, especially when you got a fast car that is capable of going up and running in the lead. It's not something that we typically like to do because a lot of times when you get caught riding in 8th or 10th and a caution comes out and you have a restart, then you're in the middle of everything. You're more prone to getting in an accident. And our forte has kind of been get out front early because a lot of times those guys are riding in the beginning and they'll kind of give you the spot in the beginning of the race. So it's an easy way to get track position early on, and then we can get out front and ride. But unfortunately, we just didn't have the balance quite right to be able to do that last year. We just put too much wear and tear, like I said before, on the tires, just getting to the front. And once we got there, we were able to stay there for a while, but eventually wore the right rear out. And once the right rear goes away, then it starts wearing on the left rear. And obviously, we have to run that left rear for 250 laps. So once that happens, it's pretty much a lost cause at that point. So just need to be more conscious of that in myself. So taking that into account, like I said, I learned from it, and hopefully we'll be better there here on Tuesday.
Ty Majeski joining us on the program. He's got the NASCAR Xfinity race coming up at 2:30 this afternoon, Dixieland 250 at WYR on Tuesday. Ty, every time that I've interviewed you, I've always been a straight shooter with you. I've never thrown you curveballs. I'm just not that. I've been doing this for almost 30 years. I don't get into that kind of interviewing in radio. I've been fair, and I've always centered my stuff around you fair. We had Rich Bickle on the program last weekend. And I had asked him his thoughts, like Mark Martin. I'm going to talk to Mark Martin about you on Tuesday. And Rich Bickle had said, yeah, I like Ty Majeski. I like running against him. But he had some criticisms against you running the inside, not passing people, using the chrome bumper. When you get criticisms like that, how do you take that?
The biggest thing is you just got to focus on what you're doing, not worrying about what everyone else thinks. You get to the point where guys race you differently, and I just try and race as clean as possible. Obviously, sometimes guys make it almost impossible for you to do that at times. But at the end of the day, we have to focus on what we're doing. We have to focus on trying to make the race car as fast as we can make it, and that's our focus. After the deal at Grundy, we were focused on Slinger that night. I mean, I'm not going to hold a grudge against Ricky, and I'm sure Ricky has his opinion on what happened, and I have mine. But
Sure.
it simply doesn't matter. We just need to move on. I was moved on that night. It is what it is. Unfortunately, we didn't get the finish we wanted. He ended up winning the race. I mean, overall, like I said, we moved on, and we moved on to Slinger, trying to figure out how to make our race cars faster.
So does the bounty roll over to this race Tuesday night?
Not that I've heard. I don't think it does. I haven't heard anything from Greg on that. I haven't heard anything on social media either. So I'm assuming no, but don't quote me on that.
I was going to say, man, with social media, everyone wants to chip in 25 here. I was watching that whole line go on for about 2 weeks straight on the bounty, and I'm surprised it wasn't like around $12,000, $15,000, man. You've got a lot of fans on social media.
Yeah, for sure. It's pretty cool to see the following. I try not to look at that stuff. I really don't too often, just because everyone, now there's a lot of keyboard warriors out there that have a say on
keyboard
social
warriors.
media,
I love it.
It is. I can't stand that. It's killing the sport. I'll say it straight out. It's killing it.
It is what it is. I mean, people, they'll never say it to your face. I know people who bash me on social media, but when I see them at the racetrack and sign their autograph, you wouldn't think anything of it. But
Right.
It is what it is. Everybody's got a chance to say their opinion, and it is what it is. Like I said, I really don't look at social media too much. I focus on what I need to do to be better as a race car driver and figure out how to make our race cars faster, and that's been my focus. Good, bad, or indifferent, it's worked out pretty good for us so far, so I'm going to continue that on.
Good for you, man. I love hearing that. Good for you.
Ty, we only got like about a minute left, so let's give you this opportunity right now to thank some of the people that have got you where you're at today.
Yeah, it all goes back to my team. We have so much fun racing together. Everybody at CNC Motorsports, Team M Motorsports, my car owners, Brad, Nancy, Manstead, of course, my crew chief, Toby Noodleman, my parents, everybody at the shop, Chris, Craig, Al, Brian, everybody that puts a hand on the race car. There's a lot of them. We have a lot of volunteer help on this crew, which is pretty cool. All my sponsors, iRacing.com, Ken Sports, Trios, Black Diamond, Lejeune Bowl Company, Weir's Machine, Left-Hander Chassis, B&B Race Engines, McGonigal Engine Performance. There's so many people that have the foot in the door in our racing program, and it's pretty cool to have accomplished the things that we've done together these last 4 years. So, but we're not done yet. We got a lot of racing left in front of us, and looking forward to it.
And let's not forget, showing up on a car today, Bit Oh Honey.
That's right.
That's outstanding. I've got a craving for that little peanut buttery flavor right in the middle of that thing. Ty's going to be on the track today, 2:30 NASCAR Xfinity. Check it out on NBC. Tuesday night, the practice at 2:15 at WIR, 5 o'clock qualifying, and the 7 o'clock the race begins. Ty, as always, greatly appreciative of coming on to the program. You're one of the best guests I've had on a constant basis, and you're a straight shooter, man. You always tell it how it is, and we greatly appreciate your time.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, good luck this afternoon. We'll see you Tuesday.
Yeah. All right, thanks.
All righty, folks, Ty Majeski. I can't wait to get my little Matchbox. I'm going to get goosebumps when I get the Matchbox car in the mail because I'll be like, I've announced this guy. That'd be the first time ever. I've got Bickle's Popeye car, but this is going to be cool when I get this thing in the mail. Coming up next, we're going to talk more racing as we head up to the La Crosse Speedway tonight at 7:30. Doc and Dan right here on 1460 WDOG.
Spring, spring, spring. Now that it's spring, no one wants to sit inside and watch TV with it so beautiful outside. And when you get DirecTV through Dean Satellite and Security, you don't have to. You can now take your TV with you into the great outdoors with the free mobile app from DirecTV. Going on a picnic? Take your TV with you. Sitting by the lake? Don't miss your favorite show. It's really that simple. Call your local friends at Dean Satellite and Security today at 608-269-2897 or visit them online at deanstv.com. Now get outside and watch your TV. Content, channels, and functionality varies by TV package, viewing location, and device. Data charges may apply. Conditions apply. Call for details.
Come on in. Welcome to JT's Long Shots in West Salem. We're Trisha and Jim.
It's your new sports bar for watching all your favorite sports. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 3 to 7, with $1.75 domestics and rails. For lunch or dinner, the kitchen is open. Half-price burgers on Mondays. Tuesday, it's bone or boneless wings. Fish tacos on Friday. Stop after the races tonight to hear live music. It's Joe Cody from 8 to midnight.
Jim and I'd love to see you at JT's Long Shots Sports Bar, downtown West Salem.
In stop. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. You're gonna like the things we've got. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. It's easy to see when you're on the go. There's only one name you need to know.
Baraboo, Black River Falls, Nakusa, Toma, Wittenberg.
Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop.
Weir's Machine and Racing Products, Bangor, Wisconsin. A proud supporter of the local racing, celebrating 20 years in the racing industry. From dirt tracks to asphalt, Weir's Machine manufactures over 400 quality parts that racers rely on to win races, producing some of the finest parts in the industry. From engine parts, tools, suspension parts, to race accessories. Head to Weir'sMachine.com to browse their entire line or call them direct. Weir's Machine and Racing Products, Bangor, Wisconsin.
Here we go, back to the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report with Doc and Dan.
Welcome back to the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report on 1460 WPOG, Cool Gold 1460.com, and the TuneIn app.
Love that TuneIn app.
Tell you what, as long as I've been a part of racing, which has been pretty much almost a little over half of my adult life, I like history, and I like people that show me history. Greg Oliver, Dale Danielski, they show me a lot of history of the lacrosse area in the Wisconsin scene. Billy Doc Niles, you're part of that history as well as many years as you raced. Talking about history, the Rockford Speedway celebrated 70 years.
That is awesome.
Last weekend, and the Rockford Speedway CEO and owner, Jody Deary, joins us on the program. Jody, how are you?
Fine. I'm old and mean.
I'm not going to dispute that. I've only met you a couple of times, but you were a sweetheart when I met you at Oktoberfest. Hey, congratulations. Now, I mean, you've been a part of Rockford for a little over 51 years owning that, but congratulations on that milestone.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's been a pleasure, and it's been a joy.
You know, Billy Doc Niles raced Lacrosse Speedway for 33, 34 years. So he's been a big part of what we have going on here, and he's been a part of a lot of historical things at different racetracks. And Billy, you can attest to what 70 years under almost one ownership can mean.
It is amazing. I've raced there a few times. I love racing down at Rockford. It's a very challenging track. But let's just talk about the beginning. How you got into Rockford, Jody?
Well, you know, actually the track was here when we moved to Rockford, but I have to go back and say that my husband and I lived in Indianapolis. And when we were there, he got interested in going out to the Indianapolis racetrack, and he actually got into sitting or riding out with a wrecker. At those days, they had wreckers all around the track, and he was in one of the wreckers, and he came home and said, Jody, you should see this racing. It's absolutely awesome. I said, fine, sure, you're out there having a good time, and I'm here taking care of the kids. So anyway, he said, okay, we'll fix that. So he got me to come out and see, and we both became race fans. So then after we moved out of Indianapolis and Cincinnati and so forth, and came back to Rockford because that was our hometown, we always wanted to come back. And Gilly Mant owned a brake service right in downtown Rockford, and he was one of the 6 original owners of the Rockford Speedway, and he wanted to retire. And he asked my husband if he would like to buy his shares. And he said, well, yeah, but I don't know where I'm going to get the money, and how much do you want? But anyway, they came up with an agreement, and so we bought a share of the racetrack. And then as the years went on, and we both worked out here, as the years went on, other owners decided to retire also. And as they retired or left the community, we bought their shares. And so eventually we owned the whole speedway.
Jody Deary from the Rockford Speedway joining us, talking about their 70th anniversary celebration they had last week. And, of course, Jody and Hugh had bought the track in 66. Started in 48 as a midget track. And, Billy Doc Niles, would you ever imagined it would have gone from a midget track to some of the names that have been there to the racing nowadays?
Oh, the names that you've got that have come through Rockford that have gone from the Midwest to NASCAR, like Trickle, Martin, Wallace, Kowicki, Kenseth, just to name a few. And you've got to be proud of your own homegrown Chad Canals coming out of Rockford.
Very proud, very proud. We call him, he's one of our homeboys. Like all the other ones that started here, we still call them our Rockford boys.
Jody, do you ever have a chance to actually sit back in a quiet atmosphere, look out over that beautiful racetrack, and just think about what you have accomplished? I mean, the Deary name is so synonymous in auto racing throughout the country. Do you have a chance to just sit back and open your mind and reflect?
Well, no, I really don't do that. I just always look out and say, what can I do to make this better and more enjoyable? Because we want to continue to make this as a family entertainment. And it's always, our eyes are always open for what we can do to make it more enjoyable for our guests to come, and also fun for the race drivers to come here and race.
I think,
and like you said, it's a challenging racetrack, and I've heard that before. So
I think your seventh child, Chuck, who's been my boss for 11 years now, stole that line from you, because if you ask him about the La Crosse Speedway when we get him on the program, he always says it's family fun entertainment, and we're in the show business entertainment. So he learned something from you there, Mom.
He sure did. He was a good kid, too.
Excuse me, reading the bio on you, and I find this really cool. One of the biggest changes you've made over the years was the increased involvement of females in the sport. Not only coming to the races and watching, but literally being involved and actually being on the track. Talk about why what that was one of your biggest, torches to carry to change.
That was awesome, because when we first got involved, women weren't not even allowed in the pits. And we decided that this wasn't right, because sometimes women are just as good as some of the men, really.
Mm-hmm.
Face it, boys.
But
anyway,
go ahead.
They became involved, yes.
And even some of the women had to sneak in posing as men to get in the pits.
Yes, they did. They had to come in. If they got into the pits, they had to dress like they looked like they were men. And there wasn't any, in those days, there wasn't any toilet facilities for women, so we got that taken care of so that the women would not have to worry about doing that, and made it more enjoyable over here for them to sit in the grandstand and watch races. We had designated one section at the beginning where the wives of the drivers could sit and look down into the pits and see their husbands or brothers or fathers working on the cars.
One of the things I found most fascinating with Rockford, and I think if you guys weren't the first, you were definitely the first in the Midwest, but maybe one of the very few or first in the country to have a female-only class race weekly at the track.
Yes.
I thought that was very fascinating.
Yeah, that went over very big. At first, everybody kind of frowned and looked upon it, but we called it Winged Women on Wheels, and it went on, and it's still going on.
Jody, businesses come and go, whether it's racing, a barber shop, a candy store, or a restaurant. What is it that has the Rockford Speedway going strong after 70 years?
Well, I think hopefully it's because we do entertain, and we do try to be friendly and reach out to different community areas or community building, or not buildings, but like the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts,
mm-hmm.
and some of the clubs and so forth. We extend our invitations to them. And of course, then we have the drivers' families who are always very much involved.
Jody Deary,
they're our biggest advertisers.
If there was one thing that you could see, obviously you can't be there at the track your entire life. If there was something you'd like to see the Rockford Speedway continue to do, what would that be?
Continue to be exactly what we are, entertainment for the family.
Outstanding.
Family entertainment. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just reading the bio here. Have a good time and see some excitement. That's what our goal is.
That's right.
That's been like the long-standing goal for Rockford Speedway, and I would imagine for Chuck and anybody else who's been under your tutelage.
Well, I hope so.
Jody Deary, running out of time. I know she's got a meeting she's going to get to as well. Again, on behalf of all of us here at the La Crosse Speedway, congratulations on celebrating over 50 years of ownership, 70 years being a part with that Rockford Speedway. And here's to many, many more years of people going left and having a good time.
Well, thank you, and I hope when they come, they stop and say hi, because we like to have people come and be happy and have a good time, especially the kids. We love to entertain the kids, too.
Check them out, RockfordSpeedway.com. Their National Short Track Nationals will be coming up here in a couple of months. It's going to be coming pretty quick as well. You can find out the entire schedule and all that good stuff on Facebook or RockfordSpeedway.com.
And
Jody,
their first green flag drops at 7:07 tonight.
Jody Deary, Rockford Speedway's 70th anniversary. Thanks for joining us in the program. Stick around, race fans. We've got a whole lot more to come next on 1460 WVOG.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue.
Jerry Beyer here, and I'm pleased to announce that we have opened a new location. Now you'll find our Big Bore Cook Shack parked on the corner of George and July Street every Wednesday through Sunday. So come on over and sink your teeth into the barbecue voted best in La Crosse County. Don't forget takeout.
And just come on down for the best food in town at Big Bore Barbecue.
Big Bore Barbecue, that's a mouthful.
For the best family entertainment value in the Dells area, look no further than Dells Raceway Park. Kids 9 and under are always free. Exciting stock car racing every Saturday night where the stars of tomorrow are racing today in late models, modified, sportsman, bandits, and more. Check the schedule online at DellsRacewayPark.com. Take a free tour of the pits and a lap around the track on race night in DRP's trolley car. Gates open at 4, qualifying at 5:30, green flag racing at 7. Don't miss the excitement every Saturday night at Dells Raceway Park. We're the best in the Midwest race.
Come on in. Welcome to JT's Long Shots in West Salem. We're Tricia and Jim.
It's your new sports bar for watching all your favorite sports. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 3 to 7, with $1.75 domestics and rails. For lunch or dinner, the kitchen is open. Half-price burgers on Mondays. Tuesday, it's bone or boneless wings. Fish tacos on Friday. Stop after the races tonight to hear live music. It's Joe Cody from 8 to midnight.
Jim and I'd love to see you at JT's Long Shots Sports Bar, downtown West Salem.
In a hurry, it's easy to stop. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. You're gonna like the things we've got. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. It's easy to see when you're on the go. There's only one name you need to know.
Baraboo, Black River Falls, Nakusa, Toma, Wittenberg.
Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop.
Get ready. It's the Days Inn Burnin' Rubber Race Report with Paul Reichert. Brought to you by the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. Now here's Paul with this week's report.
Hello again, race fans. It's Paul Reichert. Got another edition of the Burning River Race Report locked, loaded, and ready for you coming up after the break. Among the results we'll talk about this week, a couple first-time winners at Jefferson with the Tundra Super Late Models and the Midwest Trucks. The Silver Dollar Nationals taking place in Nebraska with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series and the U.S. Modified Touring Series. And at the Slinger Nationals last Tuesday, what a difference a year makes for Bubba Pollard. We'll talk all about that and much more in the Burning River Race Report coming up next.
Are you looking for comfort under the sun? You can find that and a whole lot more with your stay at the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. The Days Inn has 148 spacious rooms, an indoor pool, hot tub, fitness room, and plenty of banquet space to host that big meeting or wedding reception. If you're hungry, food and drink are just steps away at the Heroes Bar and Grill inside the hotel. So if you're planning a pool party, wedding reception, or just want a night away in a jacuzzi suite, Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island is your stop under the sun.
Hi again, race fans. It's Paul Reichert back with you for another edition of the Burning River Race Report presented by the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center. Let's check out the racing action that happened this past week. We'll start with last Tuesday and the 38th running of the Slinger Nationals down at Slinger. Kyle Chwala won the late model feature, and Bubba Pollard, wow, what a difference a year makes. Couldn't do anything at his first visit to Slinger last year's Nationals. Survived a little incident with Tommy Jeske to claim the Slinger Nationals victory. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series at Brown County Speedway in Aberdeen, South Dakota. Scott Blumenquist the winner. Billy Decker won night one for the Super Dirt Car Series at Eldora. And the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars were at Lurville, Pennsylvania. Donnie Schott scored the victory. On Wednesday, the IMCA Hawkeye Dirt Tour Modifieds at Southern Iowa Speedway in Oskaloosa. Caden Carter the winner. And the Super Dirt Car Series Night 2 at Eldora was won by Billy Whitaker. Thursday at State Park Speedway, Dalton Zale won the Super Late Model feature. Todd Hendrick took the late model feature. At Kaukauna, Travis Wardenwald won the late model feature, and a crazy ending to the Super Late Model feature. Jeff Van Oenhoven and Will Bennett made contact on the final lap, battling for the lead in turns 3 and 4, took each other out, and Maxwell Schultz was the benefactor. IMCA Hawkeye Dirt Tour was at Knoxville Thursday night. Chris Wilson the winner, and the USAC Silver Crown Series ran at Lucas Oil Raceway. That's IRPG purists out there. Bobby Santos scored the victory. Friday, Mother Nature unfortunately was the big winner around here with a lot of racing rained out, but they did race up at the Norway Speedway up in Dayup. Johnny Sauter made a guest appearance, finished 10th in the Super Late Model feature, which was won by Joey Pontbrand. All-Star Circuit champions were at Erie Speedway in Erie, Pennsylvania. Cole Duncan scored the victory. ARCA ran at Lucas Oil Raceway Friday night. Dalton Sargent scored the victory. The ARCA CRA Super Series also at Lucas Oil Raceway Friday night. Travis Braden scored the victory. Steve Neals won the main event racing series Outlaw Super Late Model race at Birch Run, Michigan. Patrick Emmerling won the Race of Champions Modified race at Spencer, New York. Twin features for the One Team Modified Racing Series at Lee, New Hampshire. They were won by Dan Massiver Jr. and Troy Tallman. And the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars were at Williams Grove for the Summer Nationals. And local racer Brock Zierfuss beat the Outlaws. Saturday at Cedar Lake, John Canton won the NASCAR Late Model feature. Jake Hart's on the NASCAR Modified feature. Another USRA Modified win for Jason Cummings at Deer Creek. At the Dells, Jake Zellmer won the Late Model feature. Double features for the NASCAR Late Model at Elko, won by Owen Giles and Chris Merrick. Brian Brown won the 14th Sprint feature at Knoxville. Here at La Crosse, we had double features for the NASCAR Late Models as part of Fair Week. Steve Carlson won the first. The lanes came. We got rained out. Drive the track. Got the show finished, and Nick Panitsky won the nightcap. At Rockford, they had their big 70th anniversary celebration last Saturday night. John Reynolds Jr. won the NASCAR Late Model feature. At Shawano, Ron Berner won the Late Model feature. J.J. Anderson, the IMCA Modified feature. Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross was in our neck of the woods last week. Spring Creek Motocross Park over in Millville, Minnesota, north of Rochester. Marvin Muskane swept the 450 motos. Badger Midgets at Sycamore, Illinois. Robbie Ray the winner. Cars Tour was at Orange County Speedway in Rougemont, North Carolina. Deke McCaskill won the Late Model feature. And Stephen Wallace won the Super Late Model feature, pocketed $10,000 for what I heard. IRA Sprints at Beaver Dam, Billy Baylog the winner. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series and the U.S. Modified Touring Series, both at IAA Speedway in Greenwood, Nebraska, for the Silver Dollar Nationals. Tim McCready won the Late Model feature. Ryan Gustin took the Modified feature. Past Southern Modified Racing Series at Caraway Speedway in Sophia, North Carolina. Burt Myers won. Race of Champions Modifieds moved on to Holland, New York Saturday night. Matt Hirschman the winner. Sweet Manufacturing Outlaw Super Late Models were at Flat Rock, Michigan. Jimmy Thiel took the victory. The Tundra Super Late Model Series ran round 3 at Jefferson. First-time winner alert, Wyatt Brooks scored the victory. Midwest Trucks also at Jefferson, another first-time winner alert. Casey Johnson ran his first ever truck race, got behind the wheel of Jerry Wood's truck, and won. And the big race up in the Pacific Northwest, the Summer Showdown race at Evergreen Speedway in Monroe, Washington. Southeast racer Preston Peltier came up northwest and won that race. On Sunday at Slinger, the Late Models were the headliners again. The Canada High Banks race taking place, and Kyle Chwala won the second straight Late Model feature. All-Star Circuit champions were at Tri-City Raceway in Franklin, Pennsylvania. Tim Schaefer the winner. NHRA kicked off their Western swing at Vandenberg Speedway in Morrison, Colorado. Antoine Brown won Top Fuel. Robert Height scored his first uncar win of the season. Steve Stevens took the post-stock class, and post-stock motorcycles won by Eddie Krawick. At the Red Bull Air Race World Championship in Kazan, Russia last week, American pilot Kirby Chambliss won his second straight, and he leads the points at the halfway mark of the season. And that'll do it for this edition of the Brady Rubber Race Report, presented by the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center. I'm Paul Reichert. We'll talk to you folks next week.
That's the Days Inn Burnin' Rubber Race Report with Paul Reichert, brought to you by the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse.
Are you looking for comfort under the sun? You can find that and a whole lot more with your stay at the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. The Days Inn has 148 spacious rooms, an indoor pool, hot tub, fitness room, and plenty of banquet space to host that big meeting or wedding reception. If you're hungry, food and drink are just steps away at the Heroes Bar and Grill inside the hotel. So if you're planning a pool party, wedding reception, or just want a night away in a jacuzzi suite, Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island is your stop under the sun.
Weir's Machine and Racing Products, Bangor, Wisconsin, a proud supporter of the local racing, celebrating 20 years in the racing industry. From dirt tracks to asphalt, Weir's Machine manufactures over 400 quality parts that racers rely on to win races, producing some of the finest parts in the industry, from engine parts, tools, suspension parts, to race accessories. Head to WeirsMachine.com to browse their entire line or call them direct. Weir's Machine and Racing Products, Bangor, Wisconsin.
Spring, spring, spring. Now that it's spring, no one wants to sit inside and watch TV with it so beautiful outside. And when you get DirecTV through Dean Satellite and Security, you don't have to. You can now take your TV with you into the great outdoors with the free mobile app from DirecTV. Going on a picnic? Take your TV with you. Sitting by the lake? Don't miss your favorite show. It's really that simple. Call your local friends at Dean Satellite and Security today at 608-269-2897 or visit them online at deanstv.com. Now get outside and watch your TV. Content, channels, and functionality varies by TV package, viewing location, and device. Data charges may apply. Conditions apply. Call for details.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue.
Jerry Beyer here, and I'm pleased to announce that we have opened a new location. Now you'll find our Big Bore Cook Shack parked on the corner of George and July Street every Wednesday through Sunday. So come on over and sink your teeth into the barbecue voted best in La Crosse County. Don't forget takeout.
And just come on down for the best food in town at Big Bore Barbecue.
Big Bore Barbecue, that's a mouthful.
There's the white flag. One more lap on Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report on Cool Gold 1460.
Welcome back one more time, race fans. I'm Radio Man Dan Dyke along with Billy Doc Niles. This is 1460 WBOG, the only place you'll find the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store's Race Report pumping out of a little Radidio box or maybe your car stereo. Points-wise at La Crosse Speedway, before we get things ready for tonight, I'll tell you what, a couple of weeks ago, I did not think we were going to have this many close races as we do. Let's start things off with the La Crosse NASCAR late models. Nick Paninsky, 11 points behind Carlson. He only lost 5 last weekend.
Yeah, that's it. Well, and that's because he got DQ'd in qualifying. Otherwise, Otherwise, it'd been a lot closer. Excuse me.
Sportsman, this is going to be interesting. Of course, the Chase Championship started last weekend. We've already lost several drivers there. Brad Warthen, with 4 feature wins, is only 7 points behind Randy Humfeld. If you would have told me 3 weeks ago it would be this close, I'd have called you crazy.
Let's face it, we thought Warthen could be contender. We didn't think he'd be this close. We also didn't think he could match his feature total from last year, which he already has. And we're, 2/3 of the way through the season. Plus, you've evened things out. Humfeld's had a bad accident. Warthen had to drop out of a race. So it is a virtual dead heat between these two right now.
Thunder Stocks, Adam Moore with 5 feature wins leads Jason Bolster by 24.
Yep, finally snapped a feature win streak this week. With this much time left, one bad night on Moore's part, and Bolster will be right there.
Hornets, Mark Bornitz leads Caleb Ian by 11 and Jimmy Bjorkman by 18. Tonight, the street stocks are back out. This is interesting. John Aaron leads, trying to get his 3rd straight title. 3 back is Dakota Miller, 21 back is Chris Sampson, 24 back is Mike Peters with a couple of races to go. Outlaws, Jason Bolster leads Jerry Ellsworth by 3 points. They've got a couple of races left. The closest one at the Speedway is Minivans. Matt Moore leads Dan Fry by 9, Mike Peters by 10, William Tomaniak by 11, and Andy Moore by 17.
This is another fun classic because I love watching Minivans, whether it's going in circles or at Friday night street tracks. I just love watching Minivans. They're so fun. And if you should decide to go out to La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway night, action-packed night with the late models, the Sportsmen, the Thunder Sox, Outlaws are in action along with the Street Sox. Also, it's kids' big wheel races. If you've never seen this before, after qualifying's over, they set up a little track with the cones out there on the front stretch, divide you up by age groups, turn the kids loose on the little big wheel track. So that's fun. Yeah. Check that out. Qualifying at 6:15. Big wheel races right after qualifying. First green flag at 7:30. Also at Dells Raceway Park tonight. Late models, Midwest Mods, Legends, and Bandits. First green flag also at 7:30 tonight.
And first time tonight, we're going to debut it. I'm going to put Hit a Bit of Honey in honor of Ty Majeski. on the side of Paul Reichert's Big Wheel. Paul Reichert will be in the Big Wheel race tonight. Hey, got to thank Jody Deary from the Rockford Speedway joining us today. Got to thank Ty Majeski for joining us today. I also want to thank Paul Reichert with his fantastic Burning Rubber race report. Billy Doc Niles, it's about time for me to head to the racetrack, and I got to drop my pit pass and tickets off at, well, JT's afterwards.
JT's Long Shots is your ticket to the Oktoberfest race weekend. After the races tonight or any night, stop off with your ticket stub and your pit pass. Put your name and phone number on the back of it. Drop it in the hopper. This September, one name will be drawn out. That winner will get 2 4-day passes to the Oktoberfest race weekend. That's JT's Long Shots in historic downtown West Salem.
For Paul Reichert, Billy Doc Niles, Tom Majeski, and Jody Deary, and, of course, Jesse, our producer, my name is Radio Man Dan Tynker. Thanks for joining us on the program. Find more on Facebook, the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report. That'll do it here on 1460 WBOG.
There's the checkered flag. Join us again next week for the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report on Cool Gold 1460, brought to you by Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores in Baraboo, Black River Falls, and Toma. By Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem, and 3rd Street, downtown La Crosse. By Dean Satellite and Security, your local DirecTV retailer. By the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. By Dell's Raceway Park in Wisconsin Dells. By Weir's Machine and Racing Products in Bangor, Wisconsin. And by JT's Long Shots Grill and Saloon in historic downtown West Salem. It's the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report on Cool Gold 1460.